Hi, everybody. I'm Grace Bubeck, and this is the Awakening is Love retreat. And in this session, I'll be speaking with Canela Michelle Meyers. Hi, Canela.
Hi, Grace.
Canela is joining us from from the west coast of Canada. She's a fellow Canadian. And Canela has been offering satsang since 1999, also internationally. I know these days she gives satsang in Canada, in Mexico, and also in Europe. So welcome, Canela. And welcome to all of you who are back for this session also. I forgot to welcome you. And Canela is going to speak to us about a topic that also has come up already in questions, which is how to be with, or what do we make of the violence and the just the disturbing happenings in this world, on this planet of ours, and how can that be love? If all is love, how can that be love? How can that be part of that truth? So, Canela, if you could start us off just speaking to that a little bit before we engage more with each other and then with people to come into the hangout. And I just want to say I'd really appreciate if you join the hangout only once my conversation with Canela is over and I indicate that it's now time for questions and you can join the hangout. So thank you for that, for respecting that. And now I'll hand over to you, Canela.
All right. Thank you, Grace. This topic, we all know at some level. You hear the words, "all is love," and yet to take that literally, one needs to look at every bit of what's going on in each moment. So prior to engaging completely in that topic, we need to sort of set not a background, because it's actually a foreground, set the moment with clarity, because it's from each moment that this truth can be known, and only in the moment. So first off, there's this oneness, that we're all connected and we're not in separation. And we can look at this and recognize from science, of what science has shown us, that we're all energetic happenings of consciousness, or awareness dancing like this. And simultaneously, it's not just us, it's also the air. The air is dancing as awareness like this. The sound of this voice that you're hearing is dancing itself like this in this moment. So, and also we can include that all the people that are tuning in right now and listening to this from various parts of the world, we are all in the very same moment. It's not a different moment in the Czech Republic or Mexico or the United States or Canada, even though we use something called time zones in order to create sort of a grid for the day with time, so we can locate ourselves within the happenings. But it's not different. So we're all in this same moment simultaneously. We always have been and always will be. So that's one part, that we're sharing this very moment. And also that we're energetic beings. We're a display of molecules vibrating that shows up as skin, that shows up as voice, that shows up as thought. They have shown that thoughts actually are particles of consciousness as well. They've been able to measure that. And this is all a great support, science, to see that this is the truth, that the air comes up right up to the skin. There's no separation between the skin and the air. And wherever you are, there's no separation between the chair that you're sitting in and your skin, and then the chair and the floor, and then the floor and the ground, and so forth. Right? So in this way, we're completely, practically, totally connected, because all of what's going on is a display of awareness playing itself out just like this in this moment. So that's a little bit of the background. Grace, you were going to...
Yes, Canela, I just see there's comments on the YouTube thread about the sound. Could people indicate to me, please, whether this is still a problem? And also, Canela, your microphone rubs against your...
Okay. Coat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just hold it up.
Maybe that is part of the problem. Okay, so we'll just continue for now, and please let us know if there's more of a problem with sound. Okay. Sorry.
And thank you.
Oh
no, wonderful. I mean, it would be.
Yeah,
that was if all of it, that was being pointed to was not coming across, and would also be taped in that way. So,
yes.
Oh, and speaking of the fact that this talk is being taped, I'd like to invite everybody to really relax about whether or not you understand what I'm saying, and instead just receive the sound, receive the words as you're sitting wherever you are, or lying down, or perhaps whatever's happening there, to just be with what's occurring here and let these sounds come in and be with you. Because, and I say let them come in, that isn't very accurate, because you are always hearing from where you are. You are not hearing me from where I am, or from where Grace is, or any other place. The sounds, you've always been hearing where you are, which points to presence as well. And it's just noticing that, right? We have been taught perspectives that don't serve the reality of what's going on. And that's okay, because it's in that difference. It's in having the perspective that's a bit erroneous, that isn't accurate to the moment. The dominance of listening to the mind, and what the mind goes on and quantifies everything that's going on here. That's not wrong. It's not to stop that, because what we're doing is actually making use of that right now in looking at how are we connected. We can quantify the molecules that are called air. Source showing up here as air. We can call it that, and then we all understand what I mean by that. So in this way, the words encapsulate the part of source, or the part of awareness in display actively as air right now, just as you are here actively playing this part of awareness. And so in pointing to the fact that the hearing is always happening in the moment, as I have the truth of that, we can look at what is you compared to me, compared to someone in Japan. Instead of quantifying it as a stationary thing, you are this happening, this display of awareness that is uniquely experiencing itself, awareness experiencing itself right where you are, inclusive of every bit of this humanness, because even this that's human is also awareness in expression. So there is no separation between the humanness and source. Source is the humanness as well. It cannot exclude any bit of what is happening to say this is not self and this is self. It's not possible. 100% of what is occurring is awareness at play, like this. And it includes every little bit of what's happening. It includes anger, resentment, guilt, discomfort of all kinds. It includes what's happening in the world, these disturbing happenings. And can you hear me okay? Okay. It's these disturbings. It's like the moment gives us the perfect pinnacle. It's like we're the tip of the iceberg of what's all going on here energetically. And we're connected to that vastness of all that is. It's an iceberg that has no end. So the tip of the iceberg might look like as I spoke with people on the weekend about the Ebola virus that's happening in West Africa. And so we look at this and say, well, how could that be love? And all we can look at is what we actually are receiving in each moment ourselves. So it's to look at how does this disturb energy alive inside of you. It looks like it's inside, but it really doesn't have an encasing of any part of the body. It's just an energy that might show up. And everything that I'm pointing to is these are invitations to explore and look at them yourself. This is what I have found, and this is what I have found working with thousands of people to be commonalities of the experience of being human. But it doesn't support you to just know what I'm saying and think about it. This is the sort of stuff that for you to try it out, for you as awareness, to be curious and explore so you can taste this yourself. And when we get into the question periods, we'll be able to show that more immediately in how these disturbances that are happening all over the world and affect each of us if they do as they do, right? Because some people don't even know that Ebola is happening in one part of our world, that there's these families that are witnessing their loved ones be taken by this disease, this flu, this virus. And my guess is there's a heck of a lot of love going on over there too, as family members recognize that their moments together may not be lasting as long as they had once thought. As in with any disaster happening, there is a lot of love that it brings forth love. But what can we do from here? I'll give another example too, because this was a good example of what worked, and some people who are online will probably remember this. Is brought up when I was in Brighton offering satsang. That there was these people that were looking to escape their country and were sold space in the wings of an aircraft. I guess there's open spaces, and somehow they could buy some space to get into the airplane wings. And of course, once they went up into the air, they froze and were unable to breathe. And this really touched when somebody brought it up. It really touched a lot of people. And so the invitation is to feel the touch. If it's all love, and love has created this occurrence, this play of awareness, this play of love that looks atrocious, that these people have been sold this opportunity of what looks like freedom to their mortal end of this lifetime. And so it touches people uniquely, differently. And I invite you to explore that touch, to open up by breathing and feeling what's going on in the moment that you feel disturbed. It's using what appears to be on the outside, this disaster, and then looking at the reflection of what's happening inside and sitting with that, not just feeling where it is and recognizing, oh yes, there is energy, I feel contracted in the solar plexus or whatever, but actually breathing and being curious to see about this energy that's being held wherever it might be held, or displaying itself however it is. We don't know how it will be. That's why it needs to be explored yourself. It's not something that I can say, this is what's going to happen, because we can't know that. So it's this facing the unknown of not knowing.
Canela, can I
Yes.
just ask and maybe suggest that if there's something that people are at this point, at this moment, disturbed about, or feel disturbed about, that's happening in the world, or that's just happened in their own lives, maybe they can take this rather than call up an example that's maybe, less present to them at this point. Would that be
Yes.
okay by you?
Well, certainly that's actually what this sort of leads into, is that it's not about just the global disturbances that you might feel, but there is, in allowing space for these global disturbances that are happening, and allowing space to feel how do they affect this energetic system that you are, actually does support bringing harmony to those disturbances that appear to be in the world. They're just in appearance, right? They come and everything's coming and going, and these are the appearances that are with us in these moments, in these days. So whether it's a global issue, war, what's happening in Syria, all of these happenings, or whether it's a coworker who comes into the room and you get disturbed by this person again and again and again. Well, this is love knocking at your door and saying, hello, hello, there's something for you here, there's something for you here. And instead of attempting to get away from that coworker, to open up to what you feel inside, to just notice, okay, first off, recognition that it's love, even if you don't know that in the felt sense, but knowing, okay, if this is all love, what the heck is this? And then to open to however it is you feel about this person, and see where does the energy move inside. So to do that, it's good to, and there might be instances occurring to you right now as I'm saying this, places that you know that you've again and again been bothered by whatever. And so in this moment, if this energy is alive right now, and you can feel it in your body, to feel the chair first that you're sitting in, to breathe, and sometimes you might be standing, but I'm guessing that you're sitting right now, to breathe and relax, open to whatever it is that's going on. And somebody said to me the other day, well, how do I relax open? And really, you don't even need to do that. Breathing helps, because that breath is bringing the outside in and out. It helps to bring presence to what's happening, and helps you to source what's going on in the moment. Because if you're holding your breath, often you're also listening to what the mind is going on about. So with a nice deep breath, feel yourself sitting in the chair, and just witness this energy, be with this energy. Even to say witness seems to depict that there's a you, and what you might notice is that you as awareness are aware of this energy. You didn't have to do anything at all to feel that there's energy disturbed alive. It's already here, you're already aware of that. Relaxing the rest of the body open to give it more space to be felt, to be heard. This is you listening to you. So it's taking this outer reflection, what appears to be the outer, and taking it inside to see how does it reflect inside, and feeling that. And so feeling right now, along with you. From here, there's an expansion of heart, and a very young feeling of fresh joy in that this is happening right now. Because even if only two of you find more of who you are in each moment through this, in exploring energies that you maybe just didn't recognize that love was here, was calling to you, to allow yourself the space to explore these energies. Now, it usually takes a few more moments than what we just explored. However, this joy has arisen, so it's I'm kind of helpless to not also include that joy is here in this fresh way of being together with all of you. And I've been with some of the recordings, the live meetings with Grace on this weekend retreat, and have heard a few of the text messages inviting some quiet, some stillness. And so inviting you just to feel exactly what you're feeling. You'll see that you're aware of what you're feeling. As soon as your attention is also with yourself, you can still hear me, you can still see me, and Grace, or whoever the screen is on right now. You're actually receiving every bit of what's going on without trying. And the moment provides the perfect opportunity to look and see. This place called here, it's always available, will never leave you, ever. It's all there is, right here, right now. And it doesn't matter what's going on. You as awareness, the part of you that's already aware of when you get caught in what looks like the mind, but really what's happening is engagement in what the mind is offering is happening. And then you can notice, oh, engagement happening. People tell me all the time that they've been aware that they've lost it because they were thinking about stuff. But how could they tell me that if they weren't aware that they were thinking and being engaged in their thoughts? It shows that they were aware of what was happening. And it's just that engagement in thought. Sometimes, because we're so used to listening to that, it's dominant. It's a dominant portion of the moment. So it sort of is, because it's the habit is to listen to that more so, it seems bigger. But as you relax into the rest of what you're aware of, the physical sense of the body, the breath, the heart beating, the fact that there is no glue holding you together here right now, and yet here you are. All of this is true, and in the moment that it's pointed to, you can see for yourself that it's true. There's a felt sense of existence. And it feels like this, exactly as you are feeling the moment right now. Mm. So Grace, would you, I'm just wondering whether or not there's happenings with people that we could be with together
Hmm. The YouTube thread has gone very quiet.
Mm.
You know,
Lovely.
as you invited people into their experience in the moment, you know, obviously the activity of mind just stops.
Yes, or maybe it's just that awareness is aware of another part of what's going on here,
Yeah.
right? So whether the mind is going on or not, it is given more space as well to just be itself and maybe heard and maybe is not being heard.
Mm.
It's but this is a way to bring balance, to notice what else is actually happening in the moment that you find that there's engagement in what the thoughts are saying. To notice what else is true in that very moment.
So, Canela, let me just play maybe, I don't want to say devil's advocate, but maybe just ask you back for people who may have that question. So, when there is an awareness of feeling disturbed, and you know, people just allow that awareness to be there and become more aware of all of what is there in this moment. It doesn't make that which is disturbing go away. So the mind may want to come back and say, well, but it's still disturbing for that to happen. How would you respond to that?
Well, this is what I was speaking about giving it the space of quite a few moments to let it unravel itself. So this is the iceberg situation where something's happened in what appears to be what we call our life, and we feel disturbed. And what generally happens is people react to this happening by attempting to change whatever it is that disturbed them. When the reality is love has created this situation to disturb them, that they may embrace more of who they are. So the action of embracing is to notice that, okay, love's up with something, and then to open up to the energetics of what's going on inside this disturbance, whatever it might feel like in the moment. And then breathing. And you might find that, like you say, that the mind might grab a hold and say, well, I still feel disturbed. And then you can still say, oh, okay, well, disturbance happening. Whatever you can diagnose as what is happening, open to that. So quite often people will sit and together we'll look at the disturbing aspects of love together.
Mm.
And what might show up at first is, oh, there's some energy. I feel, I can see that it's really angry, you know, in common in the solar plexus. And then we can go, okay, so open up to that as energy. That yes, it is anger energy, but letting that, it's not to deny that it is or isn't anger, but it's just recognizing now that you've accessed the energetics, the felt sense of the anger, you no longer need the label. You can just let that fall away. It doesn't matter really if you do that or not. You can still stay with it if you like. It's just a little easier collectively to open to something called energy than it is to anger. Because we've been taught to move away from anger. We've been taught to not be angry, and that's like crazy because everybody gets angry. But so many of us have heard as a child, oh, don't be angry, don't be sad, don't be foolish. You know, all of this, these are common occurrences for human beings. And by the time somebody's saying that, obviously, anger's already occurred. Somebody says, oh, don't be angry. Or the big one, don't cry when crying is happening. It's like you can't take away what's already occurring. And so we naturally, as children, contract over that and try to stop the occurrence, whatever that is, because we're told that that's not allowed here. When the truth is, of course, it's allowed because it already is. It's already happened. But in this way, all of these energies get bottled up inside until we're ready to look at them from the perspective of here, as an adult, to see what's up about this. And so we can't know what the energy is going to unfold and show us. And quite often people will just sit with the energy and come to a place where they feel more peaceful. And I invite, if the energy is still alive at all, if you can sense that there's energy there, to continue to sit with it, to give it more space, to stay with that. And love will be shown to you. In being with the energy, allowing yourself to feel it, this is the action of surrender. This is the action of acceptance. This is the how-to. It's in the action of that. It's called acceptance because you've accepted that there's this energy speaking itself like this. So it's not like acceptance is a definite definition of, oh, I'm going to accept you. It's not like that. Acceptance already occurs as soon as you're with exactly what really is occurring.
Yes, thank you. It's a beautiful invitation, Canela, and I'm wondering whether rather than continue as a conversation, we should just continue. It would just make more sense to me to continue with questions or even with people coming on to the Hangout because, the way that you open this theme is very much experientially. And
Yes.
so, my sense is that it would make most sense and would maybe benefit people most if they just came forward onto the Hangout if you can, or with questions to look at.
Absolutely. Perfect. It's what I like to invite is people bring what they imagine is can't be loving, can't be love, and let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is there anybody available right now?
Nobody's on the Hangout yet. That may take a few moments. But I do see a question from Veronique on the YouTube comment thread. The question is, it seems to me that every time the heart is touched, I enter an emotional state and start crying. And somebody else says, same here, Veronique. And Veronique asks, please, why?
Okay. Understanding always comes after the exploration of what's happening. So it's wonderful that you are curious as to what is this that's going on and you want to know. And that's the part that wants to feel more safe to open to what's happening. Because if you knew why, then maybe it'd be easier. So but we can't specifically say why, except for this is love. And it may be that love is using you to release some of the sorrow of what's happening in our world, simply because there's been not a lot of space given to just feel sadness, feel the grieving. Because as I mentioned earlier, we've been told not to cry. So sometimes a few people, it might be on the other side of the world where people are not crying, it can kind of leak out through you. And often there'll be some sort of personal connection to the sorrow, and sometimes not. And so that's where the why can get in the way. So when why shows up, what I like to do is I simply say, okay, universe, I'd like to know what this is about. When you have a moment, let me know. And I let it go in that moment. As soon as why shows up, I understand that to be that some part of me would like to know what it's about. So it's an indicator. Just that why even shows up, that I would like to know something. And knowing that I can't know until the energy unfurls itself, because it's the tip of the pinnacle of this iceberg, right? So what you're doing is allowing yourself to fall open to the iceberg itself, and let it express itself to you. And if it's tears, it's tears. And then you can be with tears happening, sorrow happening, and really keep feeling, even though the mind grabs, oh, I'm crying, it's like, well, that's okay. Take care of yourself, have some Kleenex nearby, or and let yourself fall in with crying. When people usually, often they think it's going to last forever. But it's really that when you have the brakes on attempting to try to stop it, that it keeps it somewhat there. But totally surrender to the crying if that's what's happening, especially connected to the heart, as what you wrote, that when you open to the heart. And we won't really know, but as it unfurls, as you feel the crying, there will likely be bits and pieces of happenings that have occurred within your life that emerge with it. But usually that understanding is after the energy has moved itself, with you just resting with this movement of energy, letting it rest, letting yourself rest with this movement of energy.
Canela, I'd like to ask you something about the why. My sense of the why question is that it shows up as a subtle way of avoiding actually really feeling the disturbance. It's a way of moving from the raw sense of there being something wrong, which is really the felt sense of it. Something's wrong there, something's disturbing me. And so the why question is a way of moving into the mind with it, trying to analyze it, trying to understand, as if that would solve anything. But really it solves nothing, because like you so beautifully point out, that it's really all in this felt willingness of being there fully with this that has shown itself.
Yes. Nicely put. And at the same time, too, it's not to disregard that why shows up. It's just to understand that can tend to, as you say, engage the mind to attempt to figure out what the heck is going on. We can't figure out what's going on. I mean, I can't figure out why I don't dissolve when I lay this body down at night. It continues to manifest. Why did it manifest like this? I don't know. Why has this particular voice shown up to be like this, and it continues to be like this, and I am doing nothing. But I don't question why. Why is it like this? It just is. And so it's just noticing that there's a lot that's going on with you, each person that's listening right now, that you don't consider why. You're just used to it. It's just here, playing itself as it has been. And it's just when things get a little bit to the edge of where you're comfortable or where your comfort zone is, that why might show up. So in another way, why can be an indicator that, oh, you're ready for more of yourself. You won't know how, but that why shows up, shows that you're getting a little uncomfortable with what's going on. Or maybe a lot uncomfortable with what's going on. You know, if it's things like, why does this keep happening to me? You know, whatever this might be. If you're hurt by friends, or you know, the possibilities are endless. So this is where, yes, it would be really good if people, and thank you whoever put in that other question about crying. Thank you for that. And I would love to be able to support anyone with their real details at play, especially parts of that have been hard in life that keep repeating, that it keeps happening, that you have said, why does this keep going on? This is where we can look at it and see what love is up to in these attempts to contact and connect with you in the moment.
Well, there's two questions that I also see, earlier questions, Canela. One is a personal question, one is a question about a happening in the world. Which one would you like to take first?
I guess personal, because we were talking more personally there just moments ago.
Okay. So this is a question by Victoria Diaz from Spain. I have a sense of lack of privacy towards my emotions. How can I get rid of the intrusiveness of ego and enjoy intimacy with my own self as a shelter? Thank you.
Could you read the first part again?
I have a sense of lack of privacy towards my emotions. How can I get rid of the intrusiveness of ego and enjoy intimacy with my own self as a shelter? I mean, my sense of the question is that Victoria has a sense that somehow, if only her emotions wouldn't intrude so much, she'd be perfectly happy and you know, just grounded in herself. Self,
Right.
as in big S, self.
Yes, the self. And so these emotions are self. The intrusion is self. You know, in your words, you're diagnosing what's going on. How can I get rid of this intrusion? What you can do, there's no getting rid of any bit, because where would it go? In this oneness that's connected completely all the way around the, you know, out to the stars, to the depths of the ocean, including the earth. All of that which we know is part of existence right now. There's nowhere to put anything that doesn't just stay with the oneness. Right? This is where it's really important to recognize this when we're not recycling or you know, putting poisons into the earth. It's not going anywhere. There's this place called this moment, and this is all we have, and we're sharing it. So lovely that you diagnosed.
Just to interrupt, the microphone is kind of noisy again with your
okay.
With your
something
or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's part of the moment too. Somewhat intrusive.
So love will be intrusive, right? Or microphone. In this case, what can you do? Microphones will have their way.
Yes.
um, so yes, it's remembering that all is love. This is the support that I have found supports people very much so, in that when emotions arrive, and especially if they're intrusive, to give up to the intrusion. Let the intruder in. Let it take all the space of what appears here as you. This is surrender. It's not giving up to it and casting yourself down and saying, oh no, it's in the middle. It's actually, it's not staying above it. It's not going below it. It's actually being with exactly as you diagnose, whether it be intrusion, whether it be depression. Whatever it is that you can say, I feel this. Open to that. I am that. There is no boundaries to that. I am that. So this is you attempting to contact you, because there's more of you to be at play. Or another way of putting it is, love is wanting to reveal more of itself to itself. There's no other way for love to get your attention that there's more, and invite you beyond what you've known yourself to be. Because love is expanding, the whole world is expanding. This brings in another topic as well, on the same topic, is in this expansion. Expansion is what's happening, we know that through science, right? Even if everybody looks at how awareness itself has expanded to know itself even more. I mean, you just go to Bat Gap, to the Buddha at the Gas Pump, or to Conscious TV, or all these different places that are showing up with people who are opening, have opened to the truth of what's occurring here. There's much, much more people, more. And so the whole vibration of the planet is going up. And so then also, simultaneously, the vibration of the darkness, that which is being held onto, is setting in fairly strongly, because people are kind of freaking out who do not want to let go of control, or what they think is control, and to allow themselves to be held by love as it is, as they are, and to hear that embrace directly. That is by far scarier than somebody attempting to be in control of what they think their life is, because they're just accustomed to that. They're just used to the attempts to control, even whether they work or they don't work. They're used to that, and so that's their comfort zone. And they don't know that there's another possibility. But it's becoming more and more available to more and more people, and we're all in this, like even right now. I mean, here's a perfect depiction of it. Here we are, people from all over the world, together as one, sharing these moments in this retreat.
And it seems like this movement of opening to love, and then almost like the demons showing up, to be eventually, finally liberated. It happens individually and it happens collectively also.
Yes, because we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. That which appears to be happening outside of ourselves is happening inside. So on the inside, so on the outside. We've heard this many times. Perhaps most of us have. That it's all a reflection and illusion. And so it's this energetic play of what appears inside and outside. And this is where meditation really helps, because as you spend more time inwardly, or what appears to be inwardly in each moment, that starts to bring balance in where awareness rests. If you've been primarily with awareness outward bound, or out with what appears to be on the outside, then that can get quite tippy. So bringing that attention, letting awareness rest inside, can bring a balance to the outside and the inside.
So we have somebody who's just, whoops, he disappeared again. He came into the hangout. Sebastien, I'm going to try and bring you on. Hopefully you won't disappear again. No, he's disappeared again. Okay, so until his presence stabilizes, we're, well, maybe now he's actually here. Let's see. Sebastian, I'm going to try and bring you onto the broadcast. Just bear with me. There you are. So you can please unmute your mic.
Okay, then I just click on Sebastian to make him.
Yes, that's right. So go ahead, Sebastian.
Hi, Sebastian.
Hi, Canela. Hi, Grace again.
Hi there.
Yeah, I would have a question for you that is, actually it's not yet formulated, so I would just try to flow into this and see how it unfolds. So it's a personal one.
Wonderful.
I'm wondering about some, well, you talked a bit just a couple of minutes ago about this, about, you know, some things that repeat, some circumstances and things we feel inside that are, seems to repeat over and over.
Yes.
Regarding this point, I kind of experimented in the last couple of years the fact that I kind of made a lot of choices and dived into action and into many of these processes, it kind of led to more suffering. So I feel in some way I kind of built more or less consciously some kind of conditioning about this. And since 2 or 3 years now, I'm way more into some introspective well, I don't know, I'm looking for my words in English actually.
Yes.
Well, I'm way more introspective and, you know, excuse me?
I said you can say them in French and I can translate for Canela and other people.
Oh, for the word, okay. Une démarche introspective.
Mm-hmm. Well, basically, just he tried various introspective avenues.
And actually, I'm not less. I don't feel I experiment less suffering into this path. So I'm wondering about how to consider the idea of action into our lives, into my life, as I said, it kind of led me a lot of times into more suffering. I felt like I was maybe acting from my ego, maybe. So trying to, I don't know, achieve some dream, and then it made some contractions because, okay, it wasn't the thing I was expected to. And you know,
yes, well, if it's explored with a desired outcome,
yeah,
rather than for the exploration itself, it can tend to magnify the trying to reach a goal. And it'll keep coming up that the reality is you're trying to reach a goal, and that's what's really happening, rather than whatever it is, the details at play, right? So if you go into the exploration attempting to get rid of it, or but truly meeting that is really surrendering to that. And then on the other hand, often as you explore the layers of who you are, other layers of yourself bump right up and say, oh, hello, oh, look, he's ready. He's ready for more of this. He's willing to be with this. And they'll nudge forward to be embraced as well. Once you have this ability, right? It's not, would you say that, like, in this moment is the suffering here right now?
There is some, yeah. There is some contractions in my body, I feel, yeah.
Okay, so there's contractions in the body. So I'm curious about your calling it suffering. So it's, in other words, there's something that's uncomfortable. Is that what you mean by suffering?
Yeah, to some different degrees, maybe.
Okay. And so
it would be some kind of contraction to some different degree.
Okay. And you say that you feel this contraction in this moment. Whereabouts is it in your body?
I feel it in my belly right now.
Right. Okay. So I just want to point out too that, just to notice that you're feeling this in your belly right now. You're being present to what is already. Right? Just to notice that. So if there's a goal to be present, that's already happening now. Right? So it's just interesting because often people, if they're being present with their body, that's it. That's the end of the line. This which is occurring right here, right now, is all there is, contraction or no contraction. Now let's see what's really here right now. Also, is this contraction still present?
It is still.
Yes. And whereabouts did you say it was? In the belly?
Well, yeah. Right now, I can say I feel it in my belly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, together, let's
Actually, it kind of goes up and down. I feel it kind of as I experiment this. Usually, it's a lot in my head.
Okay, that's okay.
My mind is pretty, would say proactive. I don't know
right now?
if it would be the good term.
Yeah, but, right now your mind is active, would you say?
Right, no, not right now. Not right
no,
now.
Okay. Remembering that now is all there is,
yeah,
right?
Okay, all right.
It's so handy. I mean, this is beautiful because, right, it's like as if we want to take some other now and put it in here. And so our words say this over and over again, and that's what helps the actual contraction to stay around, to say, oh, it's always here. When the reality is it isn't here, right? At least this is what you've told me, right?
But the mind, with my mind,
right now,
as it often's, well, I would say most of the time, I might be wrong though. When
yeah,
it gets,
I bet you if you look, you will find that you won't find a mind. Because what is that? If you look right now and look at this, there's possibly thinking happening right now, right? There's an interpretation of what I'm saying with these words. Something's receiving that.
Yeah.
And can you feel where that is?
I cannot.
No. But yet it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's awareness. It's that close. It's already here. It's that we
So it's
kind of get snagged on different things that are occurring in it, and the mind grabs a hold of that and wants to kind of play with it for a while, but it's almost like a cat playing with a mouse, you know? Perhaps not quite as, but in a way, it can be the suffering, right? The mouse isn't really enjoying that. So what's happening now with this? Is there a contraction still available right now to explore?
yeah, still available.
Yes. Now, is there any part of you? That's right. So you see, it's just available, right? It's just part of us being here together. Do you feel it's in the way of you being present right now?
Yeah, yeah.
It's in the way of you being present right now.
That's yeah. I feel that is as it is an obstacle. Yeah.
It's an obstacle to being here with the obstacle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Because
who's with the obstacle
who's with the obstacle? You say?
right now? Yes. Like, because you're aware that there's an obstacle, right?
Yeah.
So what's not present about that?
I'm
Right?
sorry. I'm not able to answer.
You're here with the obstacle. So presence, awareness is here inclusive of an obstacle. And you can feel the obstacle right now. Can you,
Mo- Yeah, mostly my
where,
mind.
mostly your mind, okay, so it's in the head region. That's what you're
Yeah,
talking about, yeah? And so
yeah,
just relaxing, if you can, sort of allowing the rest of whatever's going on to sort of just relax back and let this that you've called the obstacle have more space here.
I don't understand what how actually
How how
how
to,
to let it have more space. Yeah,
so it's sort of, you can feel an edge to it. It's sort of like, as an obstacle, it has an edge, does it not?
yeah. Maybe my head.
Maybe your head. Okay, well actually let's look at that again. This obstacle is quite interesting. Right? It's cool to be curious about this because out of all the possibilities, this is what's occurring, right?
Yeah,
So it seems to be in the form of your head.
yeah,
Okay, so you just to look right now and see, does it go beyond your head into the space around that which appears around your head?
yeah.
Okay,
It
so
does. It seems to well, it's kind of hard to define, but it's kind of linked, let's say, with the conversation we are having right now.
oh, interesting. Isn't that, I don't know, do you find that interesting? That it's somehow connected to this conversation,
Yeah, that's interesting.
right? Now it's also interesting that you're seeing so much of what's actually occurring. Um, do you still feel that it's in the way of you being present to this obstacle?
Yeah, I kind of feel the words can be wrong, but kind of feel I define myself still with this.
With this obstacle.
Yeah.
Interesting, eh? You obstacle, you. But this is beautiful, right? Because it's exactly now. Now, in your own experience, right now, and you being aware of what's occurring with you, in being aware of this obstacle, and even calling it a definition, something that defines this you,
Mm-hmm.
and then in just feeling it, because it's just here right now, right? Is there any part of you that seems to be kind of holding it there, or is it held of its own accord? In other words, are you holding it here, or is it just here?
I don't know. I would give maybe an answer for this, but feel it might come from my mind. It's like maybe guess there's I don't know memories in these bodies that are uh, grabbing this and keeping it there, you know.
Right, well, it's the energy until it's explored. That's the attachment. So once you've explored these, like even this obstacle, you saw that it was beyond your own physical body, and that it actually seemed to be defining you, right?
Yeah.
But are you holding it there? How is it connected to you? You say sort of with the conversation,
Yeah.
but yet relaxing open to just letting yourself hear more of the information of this definition happening, shall we say, right? Because it's really of the moment. In this moment, definition is occurring, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's just the truth. Is there any attempt to get rid of the obstacle or the definition?
There is.
Okay, and is it okay to soften that attempt? See, just to play with it. It may or may not be able to happen. And just let the definition be here just as it is without attempting to get rid of it or to change it.
I'm sorry, can you repeat your suggestion, please?
So let's look to see first here now what's happening now. Is
Yeah.
definition still happening?
It's really subtle, huh? So
It's subtle. Okay, beautiful. Subtle definition happening.
yeah, well, I mean, it's really subtle, so I don't really know. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay, you're not really sure if it's here?
Yeah, yeah. What I see right now is the fear.
Oh, the fear. Hello,
Yeah.
fear. Beautiful. Wonderful. Now, how is the fear showing up now?
Um, fear of there's a fear of judgment. There's a small voice inside that's at first I'm in communication with you, so there's a fear of being judged by you, and at the same time, I'm aware there's other people that are watching this
Mm.
conversation right now. So at the same time, I'm there's this fear of uh, feeling being judged by these people. So yeah,
So
so
fear of judgment happening, right? That's pretty
yeah,
clear. Fear
yeah,
of judgment. So what does it feel like, fear of judgment? Just to really feel this now, because it's here now, right?
yeah,
And notice again that you haven't missed out what's happening. You've been with the moments as they've unfurled together
mm,
here. I mean, from your own words, you've been sharing exactly what's been going on.
yeah.
So this fear of judgment is happening. How does that feel right now to really explore it? And my guess is you're doing this for many people right now. And they're probably very curious and listening.
Well, it kind of right now I feel it intensifies.
Yes. And you're still here. You're still okay, right? You're still breathing. You're safe. There's no lion attacking
Yeah,
you, right? So just
yeah,
notice that you're safe, even though there may or may not be judgment happening, right?
hmm, yeah,
There's a fear of that.
yeah.
Are you judging yourself in any aspect? If you look inside right now.
I do, I do, I
All right.
do.
Is it true, this judgment? How are you judging yourself right now?
Um, Sometimes there's while you were talking, there was something else that was coming up. Is the sadness.
Yes.
There was sadness. Yeah. So
You see how beautifully human you are? Incredibly, right? And you're willing to share your humanness with us. It's such a gift. Sadness and fear, judgment, obstacles, definition, all of it. So beautiful. Just like you are. Exactly. And breathing. Remember to breathe. Do you recognize beauty right now?
actually, what I
Keep breathing. Mm. Yeah. And again, feel the chair that's holding you here. You're safe. You're okay.
Actually, what I can feel right now regarding this beauty you're talking about is regarding something that is dissolving in some way, something that
Mm-hmm.
something that's still there
And changing. Yeah.
but changing. Yeah,
Mm.
so I can still feel the contraction.
Mm-hmm. Or the energy that appears as contraction. Yes.
This energy of contraction. Yeah. And at the same time, I can um, feel something that I'm holding my breath right now.
Yes. So, and then instantly you start to breathe, right? When you recognize you're holding it. Ah, me too.
Yes.
Thanks. Maybe a bunch of people are all laughing and they found themselves holding their breath too. Because we're in this together.
It's yeah, it's I gotta say, um, there's yeah, this part of me. There's a part in me. I would say in me, my small me. Well, um,
Whatever's showing up here, right? There really isn't a small me or, right? There's just what is. And it shows up like this, just like this.
uh, into this, there's something that still wants to get rid of the obstacle.
Right. So now feel into the wanting itself, the wanting to get rid of. Of course, that would be here. How amazingly perfect. Feel that wanting energy. And breathe. Of course, it would be here, right? Totally.
More sadness is coming up.
Yes. Yeah. Does it feel like the energy is coming from your heart area? I can bet you, Sebastian, that there isn't anybody on this line right now or ever seeing this video as it's left available that hasn't felt wanting to get rid of. You can see how intricately laced we are. Beautiful. So beautiful. So as soon as you can diagnose what's happening, as soon as you let in that wanting, and you felt the wanting, right? It's very intricate with each of us. And the beauty is you've been listening to you. You've been spending time with this beautiful human being that you are. And this supports every single person on this whole planet to be with who they are. Simply, completely inclusive of whatever is going on. So I feel grateful to you. Very grateful. Thank you. Is it okay with you now to let you have some space with what all's happening with you? And I see there's someone else here that would like to connect, and feel free to write to me by email, my website. I'm totally interested and still with you. Now that we're connected, we're always connected. Beautiful.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you, Grace.
Yes, thank you, Grace.
Thank you, Sebastian. Thank you, Canela. Beautiful. Thank you for your courage, Sebastian, to show up like this. And to be willing to be so naked. And to allow all of us to explore the humanity of all of this. So, Canela, unfortunately, we're really at the end of the session, and I'm sorry to say, Klaus, there won't be time to continue because
Okay.
I want to give Canela just maybe the space to say something, that you want to conclude with.
Okay. Well, whoever that is, please write to me. I can see someone waiting on the Hangout.
Yes.
So you still can connect through email. And I don't know, Sebastian totally shared the truth of himself very intimately, and I feel touched by that myself, and I don't know for sure if other people felt touched by that as well and could resonate with what he was sharing and what he was exploring. And so I just invite all people to really open to themselves as a human being, that this is also a way to become present to what is, inclusive of yourself. And the energy that you allow in resting with what's occurring and giving it some space to move itself, that energy then is free to move as its own self. It's no longer held. And with that freedom, the attachment also disappears. But that's just a hindsight thing. The flavor of that which occurred can stay with you and rise from time to time. It's just that it won't seem to be in the way. It'll be recognized for what it is, and you'll already have explored it. You'll know that, and so it's not about anything disappearing at all. It's just moving in freedom. And this is, of course, what I would love for everyone, is this movement and freedom of aliveness of who you are, exactly as you are, inclusive of this human being. All of that, the mucky stuff, the beautiful stuff, the intricate stuff, all of it. It's precious. It's been given to you personally. It's just a different direction to open to this, to exploring. Opening to exploring contraction, to exploring whatever it is that's going on in the moment. But the moment is the constant. This here, this place of here, this is where you will find yourself. Here, always available. No more, no less than this, exactly. Thank you, Grace, for this opportunity to be with people and share the style of satsang that I support in people embracing themselves. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to support people to embrace themselves, to listen to themselves. I'm just a guide for that.
Yes. Thank you, Canela. You know, in being with Sebastian and inviting him into this freedom of exploring what is there, you really invited all of us, and all of us to be in this exploration together and to realize there's no difference between, you know, it really is all one. That human experience may be experienced here, may be experienced in you, may be experienced in Sebastian. There is no difference. And there is a beautiful, you know, there's such a beautiful flavor of freedom and of a loving allowance of all of it that you bring to this retreat. That is truly, it's very precious. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing that with us.
My pleasure, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the space. And thank you everyone who's joined us also.
Yes. So, yes, thank you to all of you. Thank you, Canela. And we'll see you again in about 25 minutes time for the session with Susanna Marie. And my sense is that the session will lead on quite beautifully from this session. There's a very, you know, and also actually the session is about the place of feelings in relation to the heart and in relation to truth, to love. So join us then. Until then, bye-bye.